The cat was a joke, not a lesson, a joke. It was written in 1935. The physicist was furious, and nobody noticed. Erwin Schrödinger had spent that year arguing with Albert Einstein. The new physics said a particle had no definite state until measured. Schrödinger thought that was nonsense and he wanted to prove it. So he designed the most ridiculous experiment he could imagine. His words, not mine. One can even set up quite ridiculous cases. A steel chamber, inside, a cat, and a tiny amount of radioactive material, so tiny that in 1 hour, there is exactly a 50% chance that a single atom decays. If it decays, a Geiger counter fires. The counter trips a relay. The relay drops a hammer. The hammer shatters a flask of hydrocyanic acid. There is no gunpowder in this story. That was Einstein's earlier version from a letter in August. Now the point. The atom is in a superposition, decayed and not decayed. The apparatus is chained to the atom. The cat is chained to the apparatus. So the equations describe a cat, in Schrödinger's own phrase, smeared out in equal parts between living and dead. He wasn't teaching you that. He was showing you it was absurd. The paper is a demolition, aimed straight at the interpretation it now decorates. And here's the part that stings. The joke worked backwards. It became the friendliest illustration of the theory it was built to attack. One more thing usually gets mangled. Superposition is not, we simply don't know yet. A spinning coin has a face at every instant. We're just ignorant. A quantum system interferes with itself, and that interference can be measured. Ignorance doesn't make patterns on a screen. Superposition does. So how big can a real superposition get? In 2019, molecules of around 2,000 atoms interfered with themselves. In 2023, a sapphire crystal weighing 16 micrograms, roughly a grain of sand, was placed in a cat state. Not alive and dead, vibrating two ways at once. But a real cat is warm, wet, and touching everything around it. It leaks its own state into the room constantly. That's why the box can never really close. The strangeness is still there. The world is simply too loud to hear it.